Welcome to the 2013 Year in Review. Here are some of the clips and memorable moments from my life off the grid in the San Luis Valley of South Central Colorado. There's a lot of people that don't understand why I would come out to a place like this. And I sometimes don't understand why so many people don't seem to understand. I mean, it's not that big of a deal to be living outside the confines of the cage. If you really want something, if you really want to get away from a city that you feel enslaved to or enslaved in, there is an opportunity, there is a way, there is a possibility. My focus is to hopefully make some videos of my travels in this region.
Is that not majestic or what, brother?
Pretty powerful. So this is the empty yurt where I'm staying, and I don't have any power. It's going to be real quiet out here, but I'm going to make the most of it. And I've got to say that this is probably one of the most beautiful places that I've ever been. There's a lot of Indian energy here. Making my first fire here in the yurt, and I've got something cooking outside. This is helping with light. It's the middle of the night. Actually, it just looks that way. It's probably like 8. I have water here. I have some firewood. I have some propane. I have some food. I have some books that I intend to read while I'm here. Period of tranquility, isolation, quiet time, downtime. And it's also very cold at night, so I'm mentally adjusting to that as well. All this is definitely an adventure that I embrace, as I'm learning a lot from it. Hope that's safe. You can go ahead and cross. Just checking out the scenery. This guy over here is like, whoa! You stop obsessing so much on the past. You stop thinking so much about what's going to happen in the future, and you surf your way in the moment of the now to the best of your ability to be happy in that particular moment. And moment to moment, you leave yourself the freedom to do what you would like to do. And with all the outside distractions and temptations, things we like, things we don't like, by taking an energetic fast, if you will, from what's going on out there, you only have what's going on in here. All right, now
Getting dirt all over my yard, man. My bad.
Look at that beautiful yard.
Apaches were the original tribe. They owned all of this way, and the Comanches were off over that way. And like I say, the Apaches thought that Blanca Massif was the source of all life.
How many miles is it that way?
Blanca Massif is about 50 miles straight that way.
So you're talking about when the Utes came through raping and pillaging the Apaches that were here. Like, what time period was that?
1500s. They came just before the Spanish.
Okay.
And the Spanish came in and just wiped them all out. Yeah. There's petroglyphs that you can't really tell what they are, but they're weird looking. It's funky. Up Levita Pass is MOA, military operations area. And I've seen, like the little fighter jets. They're really doing their training up there. They're fucking in and out of the mountains, and they're really doing their training. It's like out here, whenever you see those big stealth bombers,
Right.
they're just cruising. They're just going for a pleasure cruise. They're not really testing their stuff out. I mean, but I've seen them, 50 feet above me, dude, and you see that big old pod on the bottom. Looks like a rocket pods, but it's a 30mm Vulcan Gatling gun. There's fucking rounds this big and depleted uranium. So if they decided to open up, and they could just they could wipe out Mesita with one of those planes, you know, just with the Gatling gun, and then that entire place would be radiated for the next 200 years. You take your finger and put it on Afghanistan,
Right.
then spin the globe, you know, it'll go straight through the San Luis Valley. We're at the same, basically the same altitude, you know, as Afghanistan. So that's why they do a lot of their training in.
Okay, Alex here, December 4th, 2012 at a homeless shelter in Alamosa, Colorado, and we're here with Mike. How are you feeling this morning at 6:30 after eating some French toast?
Well, feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
Been a lot worse. If I had the time, I'd show you the scars on my stomach from why I'm disabled. But that's beside the point, you know. I've had 11 majors on my stomach and I've had 2 operations on my back. But I still get out here and I'm still trying to make, you know, the best I can out of what I do get, you know. And I appreciate what our government does give me, you know. I do appreciate it a lot, you know, but the way that they treat us, you know, animals get treated better than humans do. You know, animals have got shelters that they put animals in, you know, to protect them. Why does an animal get better treatment in this country than a human does?
And there's a lot of people just, why would you go here? Why would you do this? Why would you suffer in the cold? If you don't know what someone's going through, take a look at some of their videos where they're talking about what they're going through, you know, or become a real friend. I'm not a celebrity. There are people that are fixed into this matrix. So I'm going to talk about some of the things somebody may learn. I say may. If they were to immerse themselves in nature and disconnect from some of the pleasures of the flesh, which one might find in a dense population center. One might feel a greater connection to the sun over there. See, because when the sun goes down, it gets cold, real cold. But when it comes up, you might wake up because you can feel it. You can even if the windows are closed, you can feel the rise of the sun. I have lived different lives within this life, but even in this life, in this moment, I'm living different lives. I'm different things to different people. To you, I'm the video guy. I'm this Alex Ansary on the internet. To them, I'm this guy that, you know, came out of nowhere. Again, I'm thrown into situations where I'm just Alex, the guy who's the outsider, who will let you look into my eyes and see that there is good there and there is no harm there. Being someone that will give them alternative information if they're open to it, but developing this restraint to just not go there. I will say that going through this experience of sleeping in that yurt and experiencing how cold it gets when it starts dropping after the sun goes down. I mean, once the sun goes down, it's a whole other world. It's a whole other side of life. It's a whole other polarity. It's a whole other dimension of experiencing temperatures. I've had a lot of dreams staying here. It could be the combination of the place that I'm at plus the lack of electricity, but we're talking some dreams, some nights, where it seems like there's 20 different scenes. Truth is, I always speak the truth, I miss some people. I miss some aspects of my old life. At times I feel like I'm living out here in exile. But I also know things happen in my life for very specific reasons. It's always going to be that way. Some are going to stay grounded with the greater reality, but truly what's best for me. What we want to do is evolve spiritually, not become insane because of these changes taking place in our solar system. There's purpose behind this, and I truly believe that there's a purpose behind our lifetime. Our lifetimes here on this planet collectively, but individually. Why are you here? Why am I here? Why is he here? Oh my God, why is she here? I don't know. But it's all a part of a larger, perfect, cosmic web of life. There's something different about us. There's something special about us. There's a knowledge inside of us that can connect to the cosmos. There's a reason why we're in these circumstances. That's my theory. That it's a spiritual video game. That we all chose to come here, and this role, whatever we're going through in this world. And there are angels, there are miracles. But the point is, it's not about ascending through a spacecraft coming to do it for us. It's becoming the true powerful beings that we are, creators. We're powerful creators, we're powerful destroyers. We're going to have to create our way out of the shit that's being made right now. How can there be a bright side of this? How can there be a future? How can there be a will to live? How can there be a possibility that we can live together independently off the grid and be effective at it despite the drones and all that? How do we deal with the coming food crisis? How do we not just give up and in a way, which happens to many, hate ourselves and blame ourselves and call ourselves a virus? We should share what we're learning because we're all learning different pieces. We're learning the structure, we're learning the anatomy, we're learning the depth of the different puzzle pieces that make up this dark grid. And we're starting to see ways that the matrix can be hacked with the power of our thoughts.
Wait a minute. You ended up down in the SLV with no sort of front-loaded idea about the place, the history of the place, the amount of, events, bizarre things that had happened there. You didn't know any of that prior to moving there, correct?
No, and I came with about $100 in my pocket.
Oh, man. Classic story. I've been collecting them for over 20 years. Well, the San Luis Valley is the largest alpine valley in the world. In other words, it's a valley that sits above 7,000 feet in elevation in terms of its proximity. It's about 140 miles long at its widest point, about 60, 70 miles wide. I think the San Luis Valley is a classic textbook example of an area that attracts certain kinds of esoteric, metaphysic, paranormal, whatever term you want to apply to it. You remember the J.J. Abrams show Lost? Remember
Yes.
Island? Well, the San Luis Valley is, in a more of a mundane, realistic kind of sober way, is an example of a location that has unusual geophysical properties, a history of unexplained events, a tradition of sacredness with the indigenous people, and intense interest by the military-industrial complex. Those 5 things, if you put them together, you have a hotspot region. The San Luis Valley is a boilerplate textbook example of one of these types of regions. And there are many of them around the world and in North America. But the San Luis Valley is one that has a documented history of unusual events that I've been able, standing on the shoulder of giants, it's not only me, I've been working with people that have been going there for decades. This is a place that we may have, how would I put this? An insider kind of sort of shortcut view of what a hotspot portal area is on the planet. I rest my case.
So off of the mountains right there, anywhere from there to these foothills here, you'll see a lot of lights. That's where it's located at. This pathway right through here.
And how long have you lived out here?
I've been here since '88.
And what's the name of this town and what kind of a town is it?
It's San Acacio, Colorado. It's just a small little community. Dates back to probably 1780. And located right next to the oldest town in Colorado, which is San Luis, Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you're saying that there were some lights just the other night?
Right above this mesa right here, which is the Wild Horse Mesa, 2 yellow lights appeared in the sky. They look basically like yard lights, type of a yellow light, and they traveled side by side, parallel to each other, and one would go on and off for a few seconds, and then finally they both went off. But that was the end of that one. I didn't see them anymore that night.